presentation that I prepared for this meeting, and basically the presentation talks about some guidelines for online teaching of Adventure Awards and Pathfinder Honors. I will go with the first part kind of quick because the most important step is to pray about it. Everybody should pray about it. It's not optional. So if you don't pray, please don't teach an honor, because every honor is related. Every honor at the end of the day is a tool to bring our kids to Jesus. So that's the main goal of honor, to learn a skill, but always we have to find a way to connect that skill to the kingdom of heaven somehow, So step number 2 is to prepare the honor award, and I will not tell you much about that because I'm pretty sure that if you volunteer to teach honors, it's because you know about the topic, and I will not tell you how to teach an honor because probably you taught it before. I just included in this presentation some quotes from General Conference, North American Division about how to teach an honor, what is in the Pathfinder Club manual, administrative manual. So this is basically the official, and I just put it here just to cover bases. Act responsibly and ethically. That means that you have to be honest. If you don't know, it's better to say, I'm not sure about that, or next time I will answer that question. But you always have to check the sources of the information. In images and language, we always have to be careful because sometimes we can be in a church that is kind of liberal, if you want, which is okay. But, when you are in this kind of environment, you have to think in everybody. For example, you cannot criticize other religions or things like that because people can and should be offended. So be careful with that. These are tips for maintaining enthusiasm for Pathfinder Honors. Have a definite date of completion. So this is every time you teach an honor, you cannot do it just forever. You have to propose a plan for them to finish it, make the activity worthwhile, interesting as much as possible. You don't have too much time, but if you prepare it, and I'm pretty sure that you know what I'm talking about, that you are doing really well in the honor that I've been. It was really good. Encourage the people to have an honor notebook or a compilation of all the honors, the materials, so that will be helpful for them to teach the same honor in the future. This is a sensitive point, waiving requirements. Sometimes a requirement cannot be completed due to the particular environment, in this case, the online environment, but no club might decide that a certain requirement cannot be met in their area, or therefore unilaterally waive the requirement. That's something that concerns the local conference. So what we suggest is teach as much as possible and explain that they had to complete the other requirements in the local church, at home or in the local church, or this summer, or as soon as the quarantine is over. Meeting a Pathfinder honor requirement, the work must be actually performed, and all honors learned online must attach an official certificate granted and signed by the event organizer and the local conference youth director. Yeah, that's part of the organization. Then a few more tips, craft fewer questions. Usually when we teach an honor in a Pathfinder face-to-face environment, a Pathfinder club, you will ask questions because you want to interact with everybody as much as possible, so they stay engaged with the teaching. But the problem is if you do that, you have 500 people typing on the chat, and that's basically a chaos. So you want to prevent that. How? Think in fewer questions, but very key questions that they can answer. Open questions, closed questions that they can answer with yes, no, or with a specific date. If you ask them something, an open question, that can turn in something, in a lot of long paragraph, that will be a big problem for Eric Jean-Baptiste here to read and to share with the teacher. Mind the gap, try to use every second. Give students a reason. Why is this honor useful in your life? And now let's go to the point, the important point that perhaps for some of you is new. It was for me, and I'm learning also at the same time. I'm sharing this with you. Prepare the equipment necessary. Number one, the best available computer at home with a webcam. Sometimes you have more than one computer, try to find the best one. That bring the webcam, which is right there, yes. And that's number one. Number two, a reliable internet connection. So if you have problems with internet, somehow you have to find out where you can get a better connection, using data perhaps, or the Wi-Fi connection, but that's something that you have to check. Zoom will work with a minimum of 6 megabytes per second. Number three, correct lighting, and I will go through number 3, 4, and 5 with other slides. Correct the background and correct posture. About the lining, use indirect lining from the front. I will show you what I have here. I'm using this lining, which is specific. This is not mine. I borrowed it. I learned this from, I got this from CYE, but these are specifically for camera and things like that. I know Eric Jean-Baptiste, he has a ring. Those are much better because you put the ring around the camera and that will bring you the light. Of course, if you don't have this kind of light,
I got here.
Exactly, there you go, there you go.
I borrowed it from the office, yeah.
Eric, can you show me your ring, please? If you have it at hand.
I'm not sure that Eric's on.
There you go, there you go. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nice.
That's another option. What's the problem? Those are not very expensive. The problem is that right now with the COVID-19, if you buy one of those now, you will get it in 1 month or more, because everything is problematic now to import. So what you can do always is use as much light as possible. Bring every possible light that you have at home that you can move, you know, and point it to the wall, and that will reflect light. And try different things. How do you try? If you have a Mac, there is a little program called Photo Booth that you can see how you look at the camera with the light and try different things. You have to do this before the honor, a day before the honor, so you have time to make the adjustment. If you don't have a Mac, or you have a different computer, you always can use the same Zoom. Go to settings in the Zoom software, in the Zoom program, which is free. Go to settings, and in settings you will check the video, and you will see the camera working, and you can check before. Check the light. What happens if you don't use light? You can say, well, it's good enough without light at home. No. It's good enough without light at home. This is what happened. In this case, the main light in the roof is kind of dim, and imagine myself teaching in this light is not very comfortable for the people to watch someone that is in the darkness. So always, in this case, for example, I had the light from this side, but not in this side. So I had to compensate. So that's why you should bring as many lights as possible, but not put them directly to you unless you have a paper in front of the light or something. Otherwise it will be blind, you will see nothing. So that's basically about lighting. Correct background. This is the thing. For example, take a look to this room where I am now. You see the screen, the window, you see my bed, and that's it. What everybody does is to explore what is behind you. For example, the golf sticks that you have behind you, Pastor Craig, or the nice portrait that this gentleman, I don't see his name.
Urso.
Exactly,
Yeah.
he has behind him. And you know what? What's going to happen? The kids will take a look to that. And if that is attractive, they will spend a lot of time exploring your background.
Mm.
Now you can see, for example, sorry that this is moving.
So you're saying that I shouldn't teach with this background? That's fine if you're saying that.
I love the portraits. I love everything you have in the background.
But it's
That's why
distracting.
it can be distractive.
Okay, all right.
For example, right now I asked my boy to be behind me, and no matter what, he will call the attention of the people. You know, no matter what I say or what I'm teaching, how important it is, if he's behind me, for sure you will not pay attention to me. So that's very important, to be alone in the room and to have a very boring background, something white if possible, or a solid color, and without too much to see. So basically there is nothing to see, so I will pay attention to what you are saying. For example, the honor that I attend, the lady had a library behind. So honestly, I spent a lot of time watching every book in the shelves, and it was interesting. But that's human being. I mean, we are curious. We want to see what's happening. So if you avoid that, they will pay attention to your honor much better. Correct posture. Please, this is something that you have to consider. If you are showing your hands because you are manipulating something, you have to show something, perhaps you have to be a little bit backward. But if you are not, if you are just talking, you should be closer to the camera. But never like this. Try to not cut your head. Yes, this is important. Try to not be very in the corner. So that's why you have to do it ahead of time. Spend time and be in the center, be comfortable in the center, and take care of the light, take care of the background, and take care of your position. Another one more about the correct posture is, where are you looking for? Where are you looking at? If I look to the window, to the screen, you can see that I'm not looking at you. But if you are teaching, you have to look at the camera, no matter what. So you don't watch the screen, you watch the camera. It is weird, it is just a little dot there, but you have to do it, because in that way, the people will believe that you are talking to them. Yes? That's important. And also, you will not see anything, their faces, because all the videos are in mute or in black. So please pay attention always to the camera and not to the screen. Before the meeting, check your internet connection. Yes, make sure that everything, you don't have time to run and fix problems at the meeting. You already have 400, 300, 500 people watching you, so you don't have time to fix problems. You already have to be in peace, comfortable with the lights on, with the internet working, check your audio and video in Zoom, be ready for that. Close unneeded applications in your computer to keep the video optimally functioning. So close everything, and timing is important. Don't do what we did today. Try to start on time. Always start on time, because people will appreciate that. If you will start in a different time, that time should be earlier than later. And minimize distractions. As I said, the sounds, if you have a, for example, if you have a boy and you have to tell something to your boy, for example, I will do it now. What I will do will be to mute my microphone. I talk to him and then I unmute the microphone, okay? So people don't get distracted. You keep the private conversation privately for you. And one last thing is the microphones will be mute for all the participants except for, yes, for all the participants except for you. Okay, I keep going. During the meeting, be respectful and remember your manners. I just put that because I had to do it. Tone of voice. Try to stay calm and enjoy it. You know what you are doing. You don't see anybody, but they are there. Trust me. Protect yourself and loved ones. You don't know who is watching. So please be careful with the information you share. The personal information, that's why, for example, photos or things that can be in the background or whatever you are not sharing publicly, usually you should keep it for yourself. So try to be careful with that, with the information you share. During the meeting, avoid conflict. You will ask a question and there is always a teenager that will answer, you know, something conflictive, something that, you know, want to go against the wave, against the stream in any possible way. So avoid conflicts, provide feedback, try to read what they are writing and give them a feedback in order to connect with them. Be yourself and have fun. After the meeting, timing is also important. Remember that there are people in UK watching you, in Australia watching you, and perhaps it is in the middle of the night, so you should be respectful for that. And remember, this is important, people. Leave the meeting. You have to click intentionally on the red sign that says leave the meeting. If you don't do that, the camera will continue and there will be always people watching. Let me share with you an experience last week. I will not tell you which meeting was or in which country, but they tried to do this kind of webinar, but they didn't mute all the participants. So one participant forgot to mute the microphone and went to the bathroom. They were talking about the Dominican law. Imagine the context. All of them were scholars, pastors, and one person forgot to turn off the microphone, to mute the microphone, and went to the bathroom. I cannot tell you more about that. So imagine what happened. Yes, exactly. The presenter was a pro, you know. The presenter didn't blink, nothing. He kept going. But
that's pretty good if he kept going.
Yeah,
I'd have probably had a big smile on my face or something.
That's why, I mean, those are things that we are not used to. If your computer is next to a bathroom, for example, you have to be careful with that, you know, asking the people, okay, go before the meeting or after the meeting, but not during the meeting, because that could be embarrassing. And these are the sources. One more thing that I want to add is, for example, if you feel that your microphone is not very good when you try it, or you cannot listen the conversation in your computer, you can always use headphones. You know, sometimes you can listen much better. I didn't try with these ones before. Somebody can talk?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I don't know if you listen better now or not, but I can listen much better now.
Mhm.
With less distractions. My boys are here, my wife is in the other room, they are talking, but I just listen what is happening in the Zoom meeting. So that's very, very useful also, if you want, if you feel comfortable. If not, it's not necessary. People, questions? Now we have time for questions.
Yeah, I have a question. So I think most people have worn like their Master Guide or Class A uniform. I was actually going to wear my Oshkosh t-shirt from my conference and the neckerchief that they gave me. Is that okay?
Pastor Craig, any?
Or should I be in my uniform?
I think we really have been asking is that you'd wear your scarf. So I think whatever you would wear, is that right, Dr. Abraham?
Right, absolutely. As long as you have the scarf, whatever's beneath it, we have no problem with. So, I mean, a lot of Pathfinders are going to be
that
dressed
particular
down.
scarf. We have different
Yeah,
scarves.
it can be, yeah, that's fine. As it can be your Pathfinder scarf, it can be your Master Guide scarf, your Adventurer scarf. As long as it's a scarf, it's fine.
Okay, because we have different neckerchiefs that are, you know, blue or, you know, different colors. There's our conference gave us a neckerchief, so I was going to wear that and
That
just
works.
say, you know, show you off a little bit, you know.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Also, I want to, mine is very visual because I'm doing scrapbooking. So I have a PowerPoint presentation and I'm pulling together. It's got some pictures in it, and I'm linking a video, though I don't think I'll show it. But once they get the PowerPoint, if they want to see the video, it's there. But I was going to do, I just want to test this out actually. If I show, to see what it looks like to you guys. If I hold up a picture like this, I mean, can you see it? Okay.
Yeah, but you
Can't
have
really
to
see. I
hold
guess
it.
there's a lot of.
You have to. You have to hold it for a few seconds.
Oh, okay. Just hold it like that.
Yeah, because if
Okay.
you hold it, the camera will not take it.
Okay. And then the other things I was going to show would be things like this. Maybe I should come back a little bit and show like nice papers like that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if the lighting is making it not show up well or.
Yeah, and
Okay.
sometimes it drags a little bit.
Stuff.
My recommendation, and this is my recommendation, Pauline, is if you can take pictures of the scrapbook, and if you have those pictures on your computer, you could show them here on the screen by sharing your screen as opposed to holding it, because it makes it a little difficult to see based on their internet connection or your internet connection. Sometimes it drags.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my recommendation.
Okay.
And you know, yeah. And so, you know, with that specific honor, the book scrapping honor, it's an excellent honor to show some of what you've done, and or maybe even stuff that you have seen online. And so you can feel free to put it onto the PowerPoint slide to show what you've done on there. And what I was going to actually suggest is we try to make it easy for our students. Of course, as Nestor emphasized, I'm just going to echo it. We have a writing-free environment. And so we want our students engaging with you and whatnot. After the class, they will write, of course, to finish the questions. And so we ask and invite all the presenters, if they can, to submit a PowerPoint so that we can post the slides as a PDF on our website so that they can see it. And so if you want to include some of those pictures on there, that would definitely help. Be a plus.
Okay, I'll do that. I won't physically show anything. Everything will be in the PowerPoint. I have another question. So I'm doing the NAD honor, but Florida Conference has Pathfinder honors as well. And they have a scrapbooking honor. And actually the questions are pretty much the same. There's only like 2 additional questions. And I was gonna include those because it's terms and definitions and things like that. So is it okay for me to tell the kids that they could get the NAD honor and they could go to Florida Conference, their Pathfinder director can order that patch and they can get 2 patches? Is that okay? Because the questionnaire that you submit would be, well, am I supposed to do that form or do you guys do it?
No, so what happens is we have an online worksheet that we provide to all of the students. And so once they submit their online worksheets, it's automatically generated to an Excel spreadsheet. And we have about 10 to 15 graders who go through the answers to make sure that the answers are correct. We wouldn't have the extra questions to put in there, but if I can actually look up the Florida questions and put optional in parentheses for fulfillment of the Florida honor. Yeah. Now, I have not made any type of arrangements with Florida to encourage them to purchase those patches. One thing that I can definitely state in clarity is that today's honor will fulfill the NAD requirements as well as the additional Florida requirements for those who are interested. Mm-hmm. And I can leave it like that that they know that they're meeting both requirements. However they'd like to go about that, they can go ahead. So that works.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, I've taken a lot of honors. I've spent 2 weeks taking honors. So
we're so honored to have you with us, man.
You guys, yeah, I'm loving it. So do you guys make up the form, the electronic form? You guys do that, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it. I have someone on our team.
Okay, one more question. Okay, one more question. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, the last question on the honor. In NAD, it says to make up a scrapbook. In Florida, it says to make up 2 pages. So when I actually teach this, I teach the understanding, and then we do it, and we'll sit there and do it for like, half an hour, 45 minutes to make up those 2 pages, just 2 pages. I get them to do 2 pages, and everybody's kind of working together, having a lot of fun, cutting up stuff and sticking and gluing and stuff. But I haven't asked them to make an entire book, because 2 pages can take me an hour and a book would have a lot. So I have tailored down the requirements to be 2 pages. And if everybody did 2 pages, we put it together, we get a book. So what do you think? Should I tell them to go home and, well, they are home, but go?
No. So here's what we always want to do.
Should I encourage them to do 2 pages or encourage them to make an album?
You want to encourage them to, now the word book, we always want to use the NAD requirements to fulfill the honor. And so the word book is actually a very loose term. The book can be 2 pages or 10 pages. There's no specificity on the amount of pages in the book. And so I would stay away from saying pages, and I would more lean towards using the NAD term, which is book. And so, the book can be literally smaller pages.
Well, it says make a scrapbook of at least 12 pages.
And that's fine. I would recommend that they fill they're in no rush. We're not sure when COVID is finished. And so I'll tell you, one thing we do is we do something called partial honors or complete. What we would look for this honor to be is to be a partial honor. So we will not wait on the kids to complete the book. Right. What we will do is say, if you fulfill all the answers, we will give you the partial honor. And if you want to fulfill the requirements, you have to show the actual book to your director. And that's when they would process their patches. And what we'll do, Pauline, is the honest truth is we have people who are not in a rush to fulfill these requirements. We're now getting pictures of the sanctuary, people who got the honor, they got the certificate, and they're showing us just as proof. And we don't need it, but we post it on our website and just say they did a phenomenal job just to show what the program produces. And so what we would like to do is we're going to invite people to put on our Instagram and Facebook that when they do the scrapbook, to go ahead and tag us in it. And we would love a chance to be able to show what they did to you. Because I'm sure the 12 pages, I'm going to do the 12 pages.
Great.
They may not be big pages.
I'm going to challenge them too at the end to how do you turn this into a ministry? How do you reach somebody through scrapbooking? How do you, because a lot of times when it comes to the arts, sometimes people are not sure how to incorporate that into reaching other people. So I'm going to challenge them. That's my question at the end is how are you going to, can you make this into a ministry to reach with, others?
Love it.
Scrapbooking is a very social thing. Women it's mostly women that do it, but women get together in groups and they sit down and they share stuff and they're talking and they have whole retreats on this thing too. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun.
Absolutely. And you seem like the right instructor to have there. We're excited to have you on it. You're going to teach me some new skills.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know too much about scrapbooking. So it's something that I'm just glad to share with people.
So Pauline, I'm not going to.
So that was all my questions. Thank you.
No, Pauline, I was going to share with you when I was at my my first church, the entire church was full of seniors. I had one young person. We did a scrapbooking on a Sunday afternoon once a month with seniors, and they brought pictures of their grandkids, and we prayed over the pictures of every kid. Eventually, we had a community guest day, and we invited all of those who we prayed for to be a part. And that's actually what began as a process of us getting young people in the church. And so what you're doing is a ministry. And so we value what you do. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great testimony. I hadn't thought about that idea. And because I think older people, more than younger people, older people would have a ton of pictures just sitting there. And I do from when my kids were young. But I have to encourage for scrapbooking, you have to print the pictures and then, use them. So there's still a reason why you would want to print them even today.
Definitely.
So should I run I think what we'll do, since my internet seems to be a little bit slow, should I send you the PowerPoint so that you can execute it and I'll just tell you when to change the slide? Would that work out better? Or should I? Yeah.
If you can send it to me the day before.
So when would you want it? Can I send that to you Sunday morning?
Actually, can you send it to me Saturday evening? Because that will we have a guy who converts it to a special program that allows them to see you and the presentation at the same time. And so
I'll do that.
If that's possible, that would be so amazing.
Yeah, that'd be fine, Saturday night.
Pauline, just one tip, just open the Zoom software for that day and use just that in your computer. Don't use anything else. Don't use any browser, anything. Just the Zoom with the code.
Right, just Zoom.
So turn off your computer, and when you open it, just use the Zoom software, and your computer should work better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me try something because I'm working from home, but that was also a little on the slow side. Let's see if I can plug this into here. If I directly connect to my my modem, it should go a bit faster. Let me see if I can do it on this. Okay, is that any better?
But you have to change the connection. You still are in the same connection.
Oh. Okay, well, I've got this really long cord that I can connect directly to the route. It makes things go a little bit faster, so I'll try for that.
In the presentation, I think I include a way to check the speed. Yes, I think so. There are several websites that you can use to check the speed.
Mm-hmm.
Speed test is, let me share it with you right now. There you go. Speed test here.
Okay, yeah.
So you type
Speed test.net.
Yeah, and then you click go, and it will check your connection speed. So you can try with your Wi-Fi, with data, with whatever you want to try, and it will tell you how many megabytes you have. Okay?
So is that yours, 100?
This is my connection here.
Okay. Well, I'll test it. We have a ton of devices at my house, so
yeah, that's why you
slow.
have to take your time and do it with time. You don't want to do it on Sunday. Sunday is too late. You have to try. You have to try.
Yeah, I'll do it beforehand.
Yeah. And for sure you will be fine. Just check the speed ahead of time, and try different ways, and pick the best.
Okay.
Anything else, Abraham, Pastor Craig?
No, I was just here waving to your son. All right. No, I think that was great. I just want to re-emphasize. So one thing that Nestor shared, and I'll echo it again, is keeping some of these kids engaged is probably one of the most important components. And so one thing I've seen Eric do through a few workshops is he's actually invited the kids to write something every 7 minutes in the comment section. So he'll drop a quick question. For instance, if we were doing something about reptiles, he'll say, what is the largest size reptile you've ever seen? While you write in the comment section, I'm going to go ahead and share this. And so every few moments, or when we taught the cooking honor, the instructor said, in your kitchen, real quick, for the next 60 seconds, grab the healthiest snack you think exists in your kitchen. And I grabbed some Sun Chips, and we were looking at the nutritional facts. So it got the kids moving a little bit, and it kept them engaged. And that's what we always want to do. So it's less of a college lecture and more of something engaging as much as possible. We know the whole thing can't be engaging. It's not a talent show or a show me time, but you know, small things like that make a difference. And
So
we
what-
want you to know there's no pressure. You're going to do fine. The Lord is with you. All right. We're not looking for experts. If we were looking for experts, we'd be paying you a 6-figure salary to be a full-time professor. We don't have that type of stuff. We're volunteers. And so whether it's your first time or not, we know it's going to be fantastic. And there's always room for growth with any of us. And so Pauline, Brother Ursel, you're a returning veteran. We stand with you. All right. And we're excited to have you on board. You made the right decision. All right.
All right.
All right. Did I see Eric on here?
Yeah, Eric's here.
Hey,
Yeah,
Eric,
I'm
how's
here.
it going, man?
He's here.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
All right. He must be having dinner, man. Nestor, thank you so much. You don't know how much I appreciate you doing tonight's presentation. Thank you.
Anytime. I'm learning this, man. It's the first time the dinosaurs are coming out to this weird dimension that we are not used to, but so we had to learn. Yeah.
You're the man. You're the man.
Abraham, is the
Yes.
is the Christian storytelling one that's on there? Is somebody teaching that, or is that me teaching it?
No, we actually had someone who volunteered to teach it.
Good.
We actually had about 7 people who volunteered to teach it.
Praise the Lord.
And
Yeah,
so
I could do it, but I wasn't sure if I just wanted to make sure.
what's giving us the opportunity is the fact that people are asking that we repeat honors. And we honestly don't. I hate to have the same person teaching the virus honor each time. Now we have 3 people who signed up to teach it. So now we can actually go into a momentum that after COVID is done, we can repeat. Since we're only doing 2 new honors a week, if we ever repeat, we can have 1 repeat a week where we incorporate some repeats. So we'd love you to be able to teach one of the repeats or something new. It's up to you.
I was ready to do it, but I'm thankful I'm not.
You're the man, Craig.
Would you
Sorry,
ever
man,
consider?
Oh, no, it's Monday.
I like your mustache, man.
Yeah, hey, this is the last day of it, though. I can't. It turned me into a little old man.
It looks good, man.
Take a photo.
Yeah, I've taken a few photographs. I put anyway. It's not I tried to take some pictures with jackets on and try to be a catalog
That's right.
catalog guy. But I look like my dad's 80 years old. I look like my dad, and so it's coming off. So.
Yeah, my dad's growing a beard
I am a
too.
grandpa. I love being a grandpa, but I don't need to be a little old man when I'm 58. So.
My dad is growing a beard, and I've never seen him in a beard in all my life.
You
And
like it?
I was FaceTiming him the other day, and I was like, whoa, it's so different.
Most people don't like this on me because it makes me look older. So
I like it on you. I like it on you.
I like it too.
today's
Distinguished.
Gray,
Yeah.
Gray is in, man. Gray is in.
I need to take this boy to the bed. So
Okay.
You did a good job. You did a good job there helping us with the distraction.
Okay, so just one more question. You said to engage them and get them doing stuff. So I thought maybe I could ask the kids to go and find where their pictures are, or find their pictures, ask their parents, where are our pictures? And they've got 60 seconds to do it.
Absolutely.
Would that be, okay,
Yeah,
I'll do
they
that.
can find a photo album or a magazine picture or whatever you want. That's up to you. That's a great activity. I love it.
Okay,
I love
I'll
it.
do that.
Love it.
and they're waiting for those challenges. Let
Oh,
me
yeah.
tell you, they're waiting for any challenge.
Yes.
They're waiting for any challenge. So
They're excited.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have them cut a
Get the
picture
Bible,
too.
yeah.
Because part of scrapbooking is to cut your pictures, and nobody ever wants to do that. It's like the hardest thing ever to cut a picture, but you have to cut out stuff that you don't want. So
in the Sabbath school for my kids, they know that they had to bring paper and scissors and some glue because they will do a craft.
No, it's
yeah.
I do a work page.
Yeah.
My brother does
Oh.
a craft.
Oh, he does a work page. He's grown.
What class you teaching, Airsoft?
Sorry?
What class is Airsoft teaching?
Pin trading.
Oh,
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's going to be good.
Yep.
Yeah. So I believe that's Sunday at 2.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys actually have the biggest attendances of the entire week between Sunday and Sabbath. So you guys are probably going to be looking at close to between 250 and 500. So I think we've had as high as 486. The lowest we've had on a weekend is usually around 3 something, honestly. So, and these are
Wow.
honors. So
Yeah.
you guys be ready.
No pressure, no pressure. No
Yep.
Let's hope I can do it in an hour and a half.
No, fine.
Oh.
People, any more questions? Otherwise, we can pray.
Yep. So I probably should say, so the entire honor slot is an hour and 30 minutes. We try to aim to have the presenters present between an hour. We try to aim to have them present for an hour. If they go slightly over, if you anticipate that it may take a little bit longer, we try to eliminate the preliminaries as much as possible, so that we can
Okay.
get you up there right away. So if you can work with that time, that would be great, because we always try to make sure we end on time,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you know kids got homework and stuff to do. So
that's the key. Is if it's a partial honor, just hit those major parts and the parts that they can do at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the things that I try to do is just hit the major points and then go through it, because all the small stuff that's included in most of the honors, you'll never get to that. Not in time anyway.
Right, right.
Well, I'd like the kids to know how to do it. That's the key thing. Because usually when I teach it, I'm right there and I can say, well, you know, this is how you lay it out and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, but I need to just make sure that they have the tools or the skills, the knowledge to go and do it. Because they're probably going to say to their parents, you know, come on, mom, dad, let's do this together. And, you know, I'm going to encourage them to do that. And they can take pictures that are in old albums already and put them into these new ones. I had one lady at my church. She redid her wedding album and scrapbooked it. And, you know, so yeah, so that's what I want to make sure that they can, and I'll time it. I'll make sure that I'm on track and try to stick to an hour. It's not very long, actually. Most of it is the hands-on stuff, you know, so. Okay, I think that's it. That's good for me.
Are fine then?
You're good.
Live.
Let's pray then. Pastor Craig, all yours. You want to pray, please?
What's that?
Could you please
Yeah,
pray for us?
it always happens to me. My internet froze, so you can see me, but I can't hear you guys. So we just turned the internet off and on, and I was good. So sorry about that. I will pray. Our Father, thank you for this day, and we're so thankful that we have the opportunity to serve Pathway Ministry and serve the Pathfinders themselves. And so I pray that as we present this next weekend and as this next week has more honors, I pray that these will be taught in honor of you so that you will be the forefront of this as we learn new skills. Thank you, and continue to bless this ministry. In your name I pray. Amen.
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 All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Nice to meet
you.
you guys.
See you Sunday.
Oh.